What is up, guys? Today I'm going to be giving my first thoughts on Apple's September 9th, 2025 event, unveiling the new iPhone 17 Pro and the all-new iPhone Air. Now, the reason why it took me this long just to film one single video, it's because, last week some unfortunate events have occurred. Rest in peace, Arena, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. That really did bring my mood down a lot. So once I got my mood back up, guess what happened again? I got a fever. So that also delayed the video a little bit, but hey, now we're here. Now I'm filming. And let's just bring the mood right back up and let's go. Now, to kick things off with Apple related stuff, at this time of recording, Apple has released the iPadOS and iOS 26 updates before the iPhone 17 comes out with iOS 26. And I'm about to say this is the first words I'm going to say. I'm quite impressed. I did talk a little bit of negative stuff last time when Apple revealed this whole liquid glass thing at the start. But over the beta releases, I did see a lot of improvements, and now looking at it with the official non-beta update, this actually doesn't look too shabby. I could see myself getting used to this. The Control Center, I did talk about some issues with the readability, but now looking at it, they have darkened the whole page and just highlighted the control panel, which is pretty cool. I can easily read that stuff. Oh my god, it just looks so weird. The phone app in an iPad, it just looks so weird. Anyways, back to the main event. Kicking things off with the AirPods Pro 3. By the time of this recording, a lot of tech reviewers have talked about it and said that if you have the AirPods Pro 2, you might want to switch to the Pro 3s. I thought it was too good to be true, because there's no way that this small of an upgrade looking on the outside of the AirPods Pro 3 can make any big difference. But they've changed a lot of the major internals of the AirPods Pro. They've redesigned the internal airflow so that there's more bass, more clarity, and have added some foam into the ear tips, which will have apparently 2 times better active noise cancellation than the AirPods Pro 2. Just adding a little bit of foam can do that. Why didn't you do that last time then? Nah, I'm just playing. Now, one cool feature I like about the AirPods Pro 3 is live translation. So instead of just taking out your phone, typing a bunch of stuff, and then showing it to the person that you're trying to speak to, they talk to you in their language and then it translates it into your ear, which is very cool. It makes it more seamless than ever. But it is required for you to pull out your phone so you can also talk back. Unless if they got AirPods Pro 3 as well. Now, with the past major tech companies talking about this live translation thing, I thought it was pretty cool. It's a pretty good idea at the start. I mean, at the very beginning, we just used the translation app to speak, but this one's totally different. Live translation. I love a live translation, okay? But I am slightly on edge with this because this is new technology, and live translation has just, been a huge thing like in the past month or so. So I'm not sure how we're gonna step this up further. I don't know if the quality will be as good, if the pickup mic from the language can translate it fast enough. I'm not sure. It's probably gonna be just like a, see it in real life thing. Now turning over to Apple Watch. Watching the whole Series 11 section of this Apple event, the 3 only big changes that I've seen is the new ceramic coating on the glass, so it's 2 times stronger than Series 10. We got a larger battery, 24 hours, full day battery, and a new 5G modem and antenna. That's basically all the cool things that I've seen. The rest of the things is just stuff that is not made for men, and some medical stuff that I probably won't get into. I'm just more of a tech guy. I'm trying to search some tech here. So let's just move on to Apple Watch Ultra 3. With Apple Watch Ultra 3, they made the bezels on the screen a little bit thinner, so they can now call it the largest display ever on an Apple Watch.
And thinner borders allowed us to grow the screen area. The result is the largest display ever in an Apple Watch.
That sounds hecka cliche. I mean, just because you shrunken down the bezels by probably a fraction of the size doesn't mean that you could always call it the largest display ever on an Apple Watch. I mean, sure, it is the largest display ever on an Apple Watch, but it's thin as hell. How can you tell the difference between that and the previous generation? You could, but will anyone ever think it's the largest display ever on Apple Watch? Will they even think about that? Probably not. Yeah, there isn't much changes with the Apple Watch Ultra 3. The other cool thing I can see is apparently the case is 3D printed. That sounds pretty cool. Anyways, now let's talk about
iPhone.
first thoughts with the base iPhone 17. Exactly like the iPhone 16. Great, off to a great start. One thing I will say, the blue color is starting to fade a little bit. Apple, you better not be falling down this rabbit hole again. iPhone 15, I couldn't even believe you considered that blue. You even thought it was blue? And even worse, you said it was blue. There's no way that iPhone 15 in blue was blue. Good thing the iPhone 16, they redid it with the ultramarine. That is ultra blue right there. But the iPhone 17, I'm a little bit worried from then on. That thing is a little bit more faded than the normal ultramarine color. They went from 60 Hz to 120 Hz refresh rate. That is a big leap. That is like the same level as the Pro models refresh rate. This will probably make it a better option for a lot of consumers out there who might choose a base model over a Pro model, purely because the refresh rate is not the same. They've made the front glass more stronger with Ceramic Shield 2. It's kind of funny because they announced that like they're announcing a brand new product, Ceramic Shield 2.
Ceramic Shield 2.
But it is 3 times better at scratch resistance, so that's good. And also introducing the new A19 chip, which has a 6-core NPU, neural processing unit, which is great for Apple Intelligence, 6-core CPU and 5-core GPU. And talking about the all-day battery life, the iPhone 17 adds up to 8 more hours of video playback time versus the iPhone 16, which in terms of all-day battery life is kind of small, and I'm just gonna let the other YouTubers do their thing with battery performance and lifetime. And with the cameras in the back, the cameras will have a 48 megapixel main fusion ultra wide camera. That's quite a long name, but sounds pretty good. And the 12 megapixel 1x macro camera. And turning to the front camera, this is what everyone has been talking about all over the internet. The front camera is a square sensor instead of a 4:3 aspect ratio, where if you want to take a landscape photo or video, you're gonna have to turn your phone sideways. This one, since it's square, you can take landscape photos and videos basically just holding your phone upright. That is a big game changer. You can hold your phone at a normal, comfortable position, but you are still capturing landscape, ultra wide, high quality photos and videos. And starting this year, all of the iPhones will start at 256 gigabytes of storage, base storage. Now, no longer 128 gigabytes, 256. Typically at that price, Apple would increase the price. This time they didn't. They just kept it at the original price. That is mind-boggling. Now I know for a fact that the base iPhone 17 might sell a lot more than the iPhone 16, the base iPhone 16s. Now moving on to iPhone Air. My first thoughts, who's gonna buy an iPhone Air? Because certainly I won't. I don't think phones need to be thinner just so that you could sacrifice weight over battery life. I mean, come on. I get the iPads, like this one can be thin. This one's pretty thin. This is like 2 millimeters thicker than the Fold 7, I'd say, unfolded. But this one, I mean, why does it... If it was an iFold, then it would make sense for it to be this thin. But the fact that it doesn't have any folding compromises or capabilities, I just don't get it. 5.6 millimeters, I mean, that's thin. I'd say that's thin. But I feel like this is a phone that would attract more people on like a display stand instead of in their pocket. A lot of people would put on a case, which will make the phone more thicker. And at that thinness, you're gonna have to sacrifice a lot of things. You're gonna have to sacrifice a camera lens, which I already see. They had to sacrifice a speaker, so now it is only mono speaker. I think it's called mono speaker, not stereo speaker. Something tells me that the thinness of this device, that they've moved all the components more towards the top, so that in the bottom they can add a larger battery just so that they can still have an all-day battery life. The fact that they had to cram that much stuff in there makes me feel like it's gonna overheat quite often. The only thing I do like about the exterior is that they have finally, once again, in a long time, polished the sides. I really miss that quite a lot. It makes the phone feel more luxury and pro, just like the 14 Pro Max. I believe that was the last one that had stainless steel for the Pro models. That looks really cool. The iPhone Air will include an A19 Pro chip, which is a slightly more refined and more efficient chip than the A19. Did they just reveal 3 different chips for the iPhone Air? I ain't never seen that many chips in a smartphone ever. Maybe it's my first time acknowledging that. Maybe other companies have just ignored it and never told the public that their phone has multiple chips. But for some reason, it just feels kind of funny. The main camera is a 48 megapixel fusion camera, so there's no macro, no zoom lens. It's just the 48 megapixel fusion camera system. And the front camera is basically just the same thing, 18 megapixel square sensor front camera with center stage. That's what I like. Oh my god, finally, they have announced dual capture. I know a lot of people probably like, this is useless, it's meh. But for me, a filmmaker and making a lot of reaction videos, I might make a live reaction videos soon. Just me outside, just filming what I'm seeing and also showing my reaction too. I cannot wait for this. Yeah, like I said, all day battery life. Are you serious right now? There is no way that this phone has all day battery life. Hey, they claim it, other people test it, okay? Now they've also made a new MagSafe battery just for the iPhone Air. And this is where things start to get a little bit confusing for me. Why would you buy the iPhone Air in the first place? Just because of its thinness, right? But you're sacrificing battery. So then you buy the MagSafe battery pack, slap it on there, and now you have a normal size phone that you could have bought with like a normal base iPhone 17 or 17 Pro. You have to, what? They redesigned their MagSafe battery pack just so that it's still thin and still keeps the iPhone Air like size, compact form factor. But you're adding extra thickness to it, so might as well just get a normal phone, like a normal size 17 or 17 Pro. And the clear cases for the iPhone Air, less than 1 millimeter thin. I feel scared for those cases, bro. Those cases might snap immediately, like when you try to take them off one day. Now it's time for iPhone 17 Pro. First thoughts? The phone reminds me of one of those like hecka armored looking cases that you find on Amazon, like from the imported Chinese website or something like that. But I do like the elegance of it. My only question is, now they switch back to aluminum? You guys talked about titanium for like the past 2 years with the iPhone 15 and 16, talking about it was how such a big game changer. Now it's stronger and lighter than stainless steel. But now you guys switch to aluminum? Okay, this time they're focusing a lot on distributing heat on the phone. They embedded a vapor chamber into the iPhone 17 Pro. That's crazy. Okay, now I finally get it. Aluminum dissipates heat better than stainless steel. But the fact that you're using aluminum just like the base phones just makes it look a little bit less pro. Like, why can't you just like polish the aluminum or something like that? Make it look more pro and unique and luxury. I mean, looking at it up close, the anodized aluminum does look pretty good. But it just reminds me a little bit too much of the base phones. Like, if I'm getting a pro phone, I have to feel like, you know, I'm holding a pro phone. Of course, the iPhone 17 Pro will have the A19 Pro chip. And I didn't realize this, but it does include ray tracing. Advanced ray tracing, which is pretty cool. Holy crap, 39 hours of video playback. That is wild. But I cannot leave it with just claims, you know? A lot of people out there gotta test it. Now for the main cameras. Apparently, all 3 cameras are 48 megapixels, but not just that, they're all fusion cameras. This is like the least Apple behavior I could ever expect from Apple. Typically, each object would just keep upgrading and upgrading and upgrading at the same pace, and one's always gonna be behind the other. But this one, they just made everything equal. Not just equal, but better as well. Now for the accessories. It looks like they've introduced a new tech woven case. And yes, I have seen how bad the fine woven cases were. This one kind of reminds me of like some chain mail or carbon fiber. It's pretty decent. Okay, Apple. Looking at the clear cases now, what happened to the MagSafe logo, huh? I get it, you shift the Apple logo down, so you didn't want to hide it with the MagSafe logo. But why couldn't you just not shift it down in the first place? Would that, like, you know, make the symmetry off or something? Like, what happened? What? It's no longer clear anymore. It's like most of it is covered up. And that's it for the iPhone 17 event. What did I think of it? A lot of unexpected stuff. Apple has released a lot of new features for the base iPhone 17, and they have not shifted the price at all. We got all these new features, and now I actually think people will consider getting a base phone more often now. As well as the iPhone Air, I mean, it's a brand new product. It's probably just going to be like a waiting game, see how people react to it, how people will, deal with the iPhone Air, and using it as an everyday phone, seeing how it holds up, how the battery lasts too. And for the iPhone 17 Pros, it's a little bit underwhelming. I already expected the plateau would be a lot bigger because of the rumors that I cannot escape. And I already expected a lot of the casual Apple stuff would do. The bigger battery, better cameras. Actually, no, the better cameras, it was unexpected. All 48 megapixels and Fusion. When would Apple ever do that? Turns out they just did it right now. Overall, the event was pretty entertaining, and I cannot wait to see how the new iPhone Air holds up in real life. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in my next video.